Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel if you have not. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. This is Harper. I'm coming back to you, and I'm going to keep coming again. I want to talk about today, talk about slavery today, the legacy of slavery, and in terms of our politicians today in leadership as a self-preservation. Slavery in America is, first of all, everything. 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 The blood sacrifice of my people is everything in America. The culture of America, the business camaraderie of America, the political claims of America, and also the moral government of America was all built on the back and the hardship of slaves and slavery. The institution, the egregious institution of slavery. This is where it is. This is who we are. You cannot change that. They are trying to change that here, there, and everywhere. And they're doing it in your face, black people. They want to change this to something else. They want to come and say that we are having a gay agenda or some kind of other agenda, a women's right, or this and that. You cannot correct America until you correct slavery and compensate for slavery. They also want to say that we got people coming here that need a chance and we want to give them stuff and give them $500,000 at the border, $500,000 apiece. We want to protect people in Afghanistan. We want to get them safe. That is their agenda, black people. It's in your face. How in the hell can you correct another group of people from another government to put in the government which belonged to the legacy of slavery and to the era of slaves? How can you correct these people on top of the slave descendants and the people that have to live in this government which have nowhere else to anchor and no other choice in terms to anchor by way of constitution? This is egregious. This is manipulative. This is in your face. Basically, it's actually easy for me to see, but as I look at my people, I don't see them looking at the same thing. It's a longer time to catch up. And what's happening, you are now, if you're not talking about reparations as a black person or descendant of slavery, in terms of you saying that'll never happen or something, you are now incompetent as a individual, as a group, in terms of policy and legislative law. You're incompetent. And I'm not just, and I'm talking mostly to those who are lawmakers and who are in places to shift the needle and to move the needle in terms of policy, in terms of law, and in terms of economics, not to mention socially and spiritually and socially, because wealth comes with all of that. Wealth is safety also in America. It's not just, oh, I have a lot, we're able to do this, it's plush. No, wealth is actually safety here. You have to understand in terms of where you at. You are in America, where wealth is safety. This is what it is. You have to understand, and what I don't think that a lot of slave descendants and black people don't understand, first of all, is what America is. America is a leading country. It is a first world nation and the most powerful country in the global diaspora that was built by the air and the blood of my people. Slaves that was built and engineered by slaves, and not only built in terms of free labor, forced free labor, and the practices of egregious punishments by way of constitution, legislative law put in effect to harm the human being that is a slave, which is my ancestors, and now me myself as a descendant. This is an incompetent action that we turn away from what is our safety and what's going to keep us alive and living in safety in America, and that is reparations. Nothing else works. Reparations comes with packages. We look at things in a way in which a lot of black people, and I hate to say this, look at things a way in which a 10-year-old would see in terms of a subject. You cannot look at politics that way. You have to understand thought leaders in the community, people like myself, or people like the Black Authority, or Yvette Cornell, or Antonio Moore. All these people, some of us better than others, and some of us are worse than others in terms of leading. But you have to understand this, and you have to understand it in the way in which it is, not in your imagination. They want you to have an imagination. They want you to be in a fiction. Black people, they want you to be in a fanaticism. That's what they have done, and they have made a distraction to you and for you in terms of this subject as a very serious matter. This is very serious to us. It's very serious to black people, and we don't realize it. You're walking around in doomsday, and you don't know it. They're putting illegal immigrants in the place they should have put slaves and the slave descendants as we speak today. A president that was voted in by slave descendants, black people in America. Now you're giving basically your reparations, your safety, your claims, your compensation to people who are not even deserving, and it's a part of your nation, to your country, that's coming here for a better life and an opportunity. Your president is now giving them safety that is not just giving them a way to make it and say they need to eat and be and come in and work and get a chance. No, he's giving them wealth. That is wealth. $450 a person is not just a way. You give people like that, you want to see their way, give them 20,000, give them 50, or what have you, which you have not done for the descendants of slavery, even that. You give them that, not $500,000. $500,000 is putting people in wealth when you start giving it to a group and not just one person. That is a wealth, because now Suzanne got it, Tom, Mary, Jose, everybody now can pitch up. It only takes $50,000 to really start a small business, or maybe 20. So you're giving these people wealth. Now, not only that, they're anchored in business in before you and inside your society, black society. What you built off of slavery and have not been corrected since the Homestead Act, you have not gotten what you were supposed to get. During the time of the Homestead Act, the KKK was allowed to run you off your land, which happened to my grandmother and everyone else. And we got plantations all over America that mirror our suffering and who we are by legislative order, by documentation, that we suffered inhumaneously to build this country, to make someone else safe and wealthy, to be a specimen for someone to practice egregious punishments, to make someone else safe, cozy in their homes, and safe in business camaraderie over your heads as though you are a thing and not a human. Now, this happened to your ancestors, so you had to now mirror their pain in terms of being a descendant, or what stories you have to hear, what you have to go out in society and see. And you don't have even legislative protection right now from the Oval Office in terms of anti-black systems. And that means you can't go anywhere without people understanding these people are not to be harmed, a way in which by law we have mandated. They have not done that for you, but they have done it for Asians. They have said it. In this presidency, they have said Asians are anti-hate crime bill. The so-called natives anti-hate crime bill, which we're natives. That's why I say it's so-called. They are giving anti-crime bills. They are protecting the people that's coming from Afghanistan, giving them business camaraderie. They have been doing this, but now it's catapulted up to your face off this presidency. This is what's going on, black people. We are in a serious emergency. We are in war in terms of policy, in terms of ownership, and in terms of what may happen in the future. And now you have gotten people in here that have outbidded the government that you have been supporting. Mainly the Democrat Party have beated you out and called you the thing of the past and not the future. How can you say I'm not the future when my children are still being born? That is inhumane in terms of legacy. It is inhumane in terms of compensation. We are in litigation with this country and this government. And black people, you need to listen up to people like myself and get involved and do the homework. Pay attention. Have some awareness. Understand the CBC is a very incompetent source in terms of what they should be doing. They do not practice self-preservation. Jim Clyburn is a prime example of that. You're telling people on TV that we don't want anything for our vote because you are past the promise. That is not the voice of black men. We are looking for jobs. We're looking for the way of life. We're trying to start businesses, and we can't get a loan from the bank. Wells Fargo got in trouble for giving Latino and immigrant loans when Barack Obama became president. He bailed them out with $100 billion. The next year, black people were complaining who were astute people to the bank. And then they started giving blacks loans afterwards. They gave Latinos loans. They gave them Hispanic loans. And they were doing it illegally. So they had to be bailed out. They were bailed out from the Oval Office and the chief and commander. They were in trouble. They were about to go to jail. This is what I know from paying attention and being politically astute in terms of business and in terms of law and in terms of understanding of what law has been broken. The Congressional Black Caucus, the CBC, is treasonous against black people. These are overseers. They're slaves themselves. They're not practicing self-preservation. They are put in places to have better and the betterment of life and the fatty ham, just to say most black people cannot come past that gate. They are gatekeepers. This is very real. This is not a fallacy. This is not made up. It's not a canard. I have done the homework. This is the true and real science of what's happening to you today as a black person, as a descendant of slavery. I don't care how dignified you seem to be. I don't care how much time you go to church. I don't care what you do. The truth is the only thing that's going to put his pants on and walk around. Now that's coming from the church, and the church is in your heart. The church is you. You can preach like Paul and pray like David, but you cannot run from the truth. You can't run from the truth. And black folks, you need to open up your eyes, open up your mind, your intellect, your intelligence, your heart, your foresight, your sixth sense, and see what's happening to you. You are in a state of an emergency, literally. Black people living in a hotel, working 2 jobs, cannot afford the housing because it's not made for you to live in. This is what's going on. This is a war, a political war against black people to starve you out, to keep you in impoverished. And impoverished is adjacent to crime. People who are impoverished commit crimes. That is the science of it. You are not ahead of science. You may not understand it because you don't have any awareness, but you're not ahead of it. It is what it is. And if you have reparations, and if you get $450,000 a piece, you will anchor more successfully without committing crimes. You will get that break. Yes, we will still have some people committing crimes in black society. Yes, we would. Every group does. That is not 100% going to ever fall out. But in terms of what people will do, there are a large portion of people that will do the right thing. We have not been given a chance and opportunity. We have been here and very strong, so I pat us on the back for that. Because we have been strong here. A lot of us have made it, yet we're supposed to be gone. According to what happened to us in America. What happened to us is worse than the Holocaust. The Jews got a blank check in America off my tax dollars. As a slave descendant, you still pay taxes. That means you're still enslaved in terms of what it means to be one. The only thing has changed, they have raised the floor, and you are the floor. You are the floor as a system, as a society, as a tool to this country. Black people, you are economic floor for other people to benefit. Black people living in the hotels are owned by all the Patels coming from East India and all the people that's coming from all over the world. And the people that's coming from not Nigeria, but the Afghanistan people, the Arabs, coming from that area, owning gas stations, buying into the hotel, buying into Kroger, and locked into business camaraderie off the land that was used for you to plow, for you to be killed, hung on trees and tobacco fields, cotton fields. Now you have the local Walmart, the Studio 6, the Motel 8, the Economy Hotel, the Comfort Suites. You understand? Well, people are in business camaraderie over your head. You are not part of that group. You're being told that you should be an entertainer up until they're tired of you and take you to jail for some crime that everybody else can commit and then turn around and it's quiet. This is anti-black. We don't have legislative order or protection from the Oval Office, waived by Constitution, federal and state. Well, other groups are now receiving this as I'm speaking right now. Right now. And you black people should not utter out your mouth, oh, that'll never happen for us, because this is exactly what they want you to say. How can you say something will never happen for you that should have been happening for you that are now being given to other people? You are now being incompetent in terms of policy and legislative law. You are now taking on the downward baton. You're now slipping into a grave, a political grave, an economic grave. You're helping them say, this is not going to happen for us. You're saying you're not worthy of it on a chessboard, not on a checkers board. You're not literally saying that, but you are. Because politicians and the Constitution, black people are bigger than you. It understands you. It understands what you are saying. It is designed who you are. You are politically shaped and you have been institutionalized, educated. Now, education can't afford you in terms of an expertise of what you're good at and what you may be able to do in terms of knowing something and having a clearance to be there or a degree. However, that does not fix your society and your group in terms of what America is, what it means, and how it suffers in terms of the liberties that are anchored around America. That does not fix it. That allows you to continue to be a better slave. You cannot be let out of slavery until you get back what put you in there, and that is wealth. And that wealth is given to other people. So what you saying that you can't get, the president is talking about giving it to other people as we speak. So don't say that. Thank you for joining me. This is King Hart. Pay attention, open your eyes, black people, and stop walking around in doomsday with your head down, bowed, your ears closed, and your eyes covered. Stop talking about a gay agenda. Stop talking stupid about gossip shows. Stop putting the church in front of it like you don't need to use your brain because you're insulting God. He made you in his image where you can think. Self-preservation is the first nature of law. You can't go around using the church not to do your homework in terms of community and policy. That's not fair. And tell us that God gonna fix it when we don't have no actions. It said pray and watch as well as pray. Prayer without work is dead. You cannot have anything unless you understand the process, unless you begin the process of benefiting and actually endeavoring in that situation. First, we have to talk about it. First, you have to be in a discourse according to the way it happened to you. I've done the homework. I know the science. So pay attention to these subjects. Get on board. We need people in politics and the governmental meeting talking about reparations for black people. That is what we're going to need in order to begin the process of anchoring comfortably in the country and being protected with this anti-black systems. Thank you for joining me.